Would you be interested in playing one of the most oppressive up-close characters that you can find in any modern fighting game? Then look no further than Gato on Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. Gato is a very strong rushdown character that is very hard to deal with up close, and in this guide I'm going to teach you how to play him, going from his neutral strategy to his best pressure and plus frame moves to use, and also understanding his identity that is connected to not only plus frames but also throws and command grabs. So let's start with this Gato guide. The first thing that you have to understand about Gato is that yes, he's very good up close, and yes, he hits like a truck as you're seeing on the screen, but also he can suffer on neutral. He doesn't have a fireball, he doesn't have good neutral skip tools like Terry for example with Var Knuckle and Crack Shoot, so you have to be patient and see how the other person that maybe has access to those tools is running the show. Try to see how you can have an answer for them, because sometimes you're not gonna run the show, believe me. So you have to be patient and see what they do. Here for example this guy's autopiloting, so I just get a good jump in and get a huge chunk of damage and basically win the fight because he was autopiloting with the fireballs. He thought that he could run me out with the timer, and I said no and basically won. So this is how you have to play Gato. You have to be patient, you have to be basically conscious about the other character having better neutral tools than you and not get desperate because maybe they are sunning you out. So be patient, take your time, see what you can do against your opponent, and when you get up close, get the offense going. You know, also use the system mechanics to get pressure on your opponent, for example with red blow, also with super jumps, short hops, use all of that to basically overwhelm your opponent on offense and get the show going. Also, Gato has a good reversal, so you can use the DP with no problem, and then after that, get the offense going, also basically stealing, you know, some turns for your opponent. But of course, be mindful about your DP so you don't lose your rounds because you get punished over and over. So if you take all of these advices, you know, and use them, you're gonna be able to play neutral with Gato and don't have the worst time of your life, and then get up close. And when you get up close, dude, things get crazy, they get very, very fun. So let's start with that section of the guide. And well, to get the pressure going with Gato up close, you need plus frames, but for your luck, Gato has a ton of buttons with plus frames, like for example, close heavy kick or basically close D, very good button. Then you also have close C or close light kick, which is also plus, and also close B, which is close heavy punch, plus on block also, and then you can basically combine them and do close C into close B or close light kick into close heavy punch, one after the other, which is very, very strong. And if that wasn't enough, you can also break your heavy punch into another button and it's gonna work as a frame trap. And we're not even using special moves yet, so this is gonna get pretty crazy soon. Gato of course also has access to plus frames in his special moves, like for example EX Demon Flip into dive kick. It is plus on block, very good to keep the pressure going on your opponent. And you can also use not only that option but also your back turn stance and the main attack on it, which is also plus on block in both the heavy version and the EX version. So it is very, very hard to deal with this character up close, and you should be using all these options to basically have the most degenerate offense that you can use. At some point it should start looking like this, you know, some buttons into EX move that is plus on block into another sequence. The next sequence can be whatever you want it to be, but you should start also grabbing people, because Gato has a command grab and also has, you know, regular grabs that everyone can do. And it is very important to do that with this character because since he is very good up close, some people are gonna deal with him by just blocking, and you need to start grabbing people to open them up so they can start maybe doing DPs or trying to tech the grab, and then you get a big button going and a huge combo. So it is very relevant to use grabs and mix your sequences of offense when it comes to the plus frames into sometimes grabs or command grabs if your opponent is already conditioned to block. It is very, very relevant to integrate that into your game plan so you can open up your opponent. And now that you actually understand how to play neutral with Gato, how to use his best buttons and the best versions of his special moves to get plus frames, to get the up close pressure going, I'm actually going to teach you a ton of combos and BMBs, going from simple ones into more advanced ones. And the reason why this is actually very relevant for this character in particular is because, as I said earlier, Gato doesn't have the best neutral, so you need to punish your opponents very hard when you get that jump in, when you get that frame trap going, when you hit that big button. You need to do big damage, so you kind of need to optimize combos the most that you can. So I'm gonna show you a ton of options for that, so you can do a ton of damage when you get that big jump in on your opponent.